my name is Lori. I own a small handmade business called Sew at Peace. My online shop is sewatpeace.store. In today's video, we are going to be assembling some scraps. So I want to just combine some pieces of scrap so I can make some products with them. I don't really have any scrappy type products in my store right now, so I think it'll be fun to possibly make a few scrappy items. And also I have way too many scraps laying around my office. So yeah, I'm already at 3 bags of scraps, plus I have a large scrap bin behind me. So I am ready to get rid of some of these scraps. I'm just gonna go through a couple of these bags just to see what we're working with, and we're gonna cut everything down to 2.5 inches, and then we'll just make one big long strip, and then we'll decide how big we wanna make our block ultimately, or if we wanna make multiple blocks. So I thought about that. Like, do we make like a 12 by 12 block just to have on hand, or do we just make like a giant block? Maybe like a yard of fabric made with pieces of fabric. That'll be kind of fun, but it might be a lot of work. So we'll see how we're looking. I got my iron going so I can just quickly press any of these scrap pieces that may have gotten wrinkled. I see one here that that is very much wrinkled. But I also want to sort of coordinate things. So I have some fall prints in here that I don't want to put in my scrappy piece. And I have some dark pieces of fabric that I also do not want to add in my scrappy pieces. So I think we're just going to stick to all of the lighter color scraps. So I see one here that I love. This one, I really wish I could get this fabric again. It's so pretty. It's a pink floral and it has gold in it. And that one is actually too small. So I think we're gonna go with, what did I say, 2.5. I mean, we could piece together some of these pieces into like long strips and add it on there as well. So we might do that. We might see if we can make a couple of 2-incher pieces and then 2.5 inches. I don't know. I'm gonna put those really skinny pieces aside, and all the pieces that I can use at 2.5 inches, we'll put in another stack. So like these are fall, pretty good pieces of scrap fabric, but fall. There's some ghost fabric. We don't want to use that. Blue, we might be able to use that. 2.25, we'll put that in our 2-inch stack. I also have another bag that's just full of like the corners that you cut off from the boxy bags, but I'm not quite sure how to use those because they're quilted. So there's a piece of batting attached to it, and I really don't feel like it's worth my time to separate the batting from the fabric. So those pieces are just laying around. I have these natural color pieces of fabric. I don't think I want to use that. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't think I want to use that. I think I want to do just all printed fabric. And actually, I think I might have turned my iron on prematurely here because it's going to take me some time to go through all of these scraps. See, like this, what do I do with this little piece of fabric? These are too skinny. That we can use. So here's an example of the quilted corner piece that I just don't know what to do with it. So, I mean, I should probably just throw all of these corner pieces away. I could use it as stuffing for something that I make, but I really don't know what that would be. So I have ironed all of my scrap pieces and organized them by color coordination. So these are all like more pastel colors. So there's pinks, coral, light purple, yellow, white. I also have some of this gold strawberry print and some of the ruby star honey bear print in there. So originally I was planning on just putting everything together, but I think if I color coordinate this, it'll be better. So we'll see how big of a piece we can get from each little stack. So this one I'm actually not going to use. This one has this peachy color, and there's some oranges in there, the cherries. I just didn't feel like it quite coordinated with all of the different stacks that I have going on. So I'm just gonna put this aside, and I wish I hadn't wasted my time ironing all that. And then I also have these other scrap pieces of fabric. So we'll just save this for another project, but there's like greens in here with the butterfly. There's gray. The big reason I didn't use this one is because it has gray in it, or it has a lot of gray. I did have a print in my pink stack that has gray, but not quite as much as that. And then I have the like seafoam green color, that floral print, a plain print, a light gray. So we're just going to put this aside and we'll use it for another project. So the stacks I'm going to go with the most I have is this pink pastel stack, and then I have this other stack with blues and oranges and the butterfly, and then I have a stack of greens. So this has all types of greens in here and cactus print. So that's going to be another sheet. And then this one is very multicolored. So there is purple in here. There's that bright coral color. This one that's multicolor. This one has an aqua cactus in here. Some very bright colors. And I have lime green and some purple. I think this will be a fun little mix of colors. So let's start with our smallest stack, because I think that'll be a good little teaser of how long this is going to take me to do. What I say, we're going to do 2.5 inches. And actually what I can do is just kind of square it up, or, you know, make sure I have one straight edge, and then we'll go from there and make our 2.5 inch strip. So I'm just going to leave these strips as long as they are. So I have really long pieces. I might trim them down, but like that, I'm not cutting down. I'm just really squaring it up. And this one, I don't know if that one is that. No, yeah, it's not quite 2.5. So I'm gonna cut this, and then we can get our 2.5 inch strip from this. That one is not quite 2.5 inches, but we can get like a little scrappy piece from it. All right, purple is done. This is probably going to take me a while. I think I can get more out of this if I go long or this way. This stack is done. We're going to work on, let's work on this blue and orange stack. So I have a bunch of little pieces. This one has a selvage on it, so I want to take that off. All right, you guys, so I am starting out with my pile of green. I'm just repeating myself because my camera was not on and I thought it was on. So I went ahead and got started with my sewing, but I'm just randomly pairing these together. So making sure that no two fabrics with the same print are touching each other. Initially, I'm just chain stitching two pieces together, and then we'll combine them and make them larger as we go. All right, guys, I am all done sewing all of my strips together. So little change of plans. We're not gonna make a big piece of fabric. We're just gonna leave it in strips. So I figured that there would be less waste doing it this way. That way, when we do need some scraps for a project, we can just cut it to size and then piece it with other strips from the same color scheme. So I think that'll be a much better option and definitely reduce waste. So once you do get ready to use it, all you need to do is press your seams and either quilt it or put your interfacing on, whatever it is that is required with the pattern that you're making. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna store these strips of fabric. So as you can see, there's tons of fabric, and I didn't think this through in the beginning before I started the video, but had I really thought it through, I would have saved some toilet paper rolls or some paper towel rolls. So we're not gonna be doing that. I just cut up some pieces of cardboard and we're gonna wrap our piece of fabric around each piece of cardboard. So I'm just wrapping it just in the middle of the cardboard. All right, I just filmed a little short, so I need to get better about filming YouTube shorts. I saw that CapCut had like a feature where you could convert a long form video to a short, but I haven't tried it. And actually, I don't know that I've seen that option on there recently. I remember seeing it when I first signed up for CapCut, but haven't noticed it lately. I think it was for the Pro version, and honestly, I can't even remember if I have the Pro version. All right, well, I thought I had finished sewing these pink strips, but apparently I didn't. I must have gotten distracted, so I will need to finish sewing these strips together. But what I did, and I think I talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but first I started with two pieces, or piecing together two pieces of fabric and did all my whole stack, and then I paired the set of two pieces with another set of two pieces and then sewed those together and then repeat with the rest of my fabric. So I found that that's the easiest way to make sure you don't have too much repeats, but I think in some of my colors, I think like the blue color scheme that I did, I don't have too many of the blue, so there is a lot of the same prints in there, if that makes sense. So I think it'll still look cute, but definitely the biggest variety I have is the pink or pastel. I wouldn't even call it pink, but it's just a lot of pastel colors. You guys, look how fun this roll is. So it has all the colors in here. Purple, blue, yellow, coral, checkered. So all the bright colors are in here. I really like this. And actually, I might make something with this in another video. Yeah, so I'll probably do a sew along so you guys can see me make something with all of these rolls that I made. So keep a lookout for that. I'll probably film that later today or tomorrow. So I do have to run to the store in a little bit to get some items for dinner, but I will be right back with you once I sew up the rest of these. All right, you guys, I am done sewing this strip for reals this time, I think. So I just finished piecing all these together. There was actually more than I expected to piece together. I don't know how that happened, but anyways, weird things happen when you're sewing and crafting. I was thinking about what to do with it. I mean, there's tons of projects that you can make. I mean, you can use this roll just as you would any other piece of fabric. So I was thinking about making a boxy bag and also possibly a Bible sleeve, or a Bible cover. I don't have too many Bible covers, and it would be nice to take some or make a couple more before my next market next month. So it's actually coming up pretty quick. I think it's only in 2 weeks. It's on June, I think it's 5th and 6th in Prescott for the Prescott Territorial Days. So I'm really excited to do that. That's actually the first market that I did out of town last year. And if you watch my previous videos, you know I love to go over there. We were just there actually last weekend. Oops. Oh, we went up to Ash Fork. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ash Fork, probably not. It's a very small town in Arizona. And we went over there for their Centennial Days event. And it was pretty fun. It was super windy, but my husband, he wanted to go to see this YouTuber. His channel is Murphy's Diesel. So I like to watch his show with him. He's really funny. He owns a tow truck company and he does recoveries in Arizona. And so anyways, we got to meet him and his wife, and it was a lot of fun. They seem like super nice people. And so that was the main reason that we went over there. And then on our way back, we stopped in Prescott downtown at the square and saw a car show. They had a classic car show. It was really cool. There were actually tons of cars there. And we went to Park Plaza Liquor and Deli, I think it's called. They have the best burgers. So I might have talked about that in my last market video over there, but we recently discovered that place. It's a liquor store, but it's also a restaurant, and there's a bar in there, and the food is so good. They literally have the best burger I've ever had. So we went there with the kids. We did not sit at the bar. There's a restaurant, like I said. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I can't wait to go back in a couple weeks, and hopefully it'll be a good market. And also I will get to spend some time with my husband. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I should be able to do a market video when I'm there. It's not like the other places where there's music and all that. So it should be a pretty nice environment for filming. So, and I get to see all the dogs. That's one of the best parts of going up there too, is that town, or people in Prescott are very much dog lovers or dog people. So there's always the cutest dogs walking around. And I love to see the dogs. I used to consider myself a cat person. I had a cat years ago. It was a Himalayan Persian cat. I had him before my son was born, and after my son was born, my cat got very jealous of my son. So we had to rehome him, and yeah, I'm very sad about it. And turns out he was allergic to cats. Now my daughter is allergic to cats, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to own a cat again, but I am now a dog person, I guess. Well, we always had dogs growing up as well, but I just have always been really into cats more than dogs. But now, I suppose I'm a dog person. So, anyway, so here is my jelly roll with my light colored fabric. So I have a total of 4. I know it's not the prettiest thing with the cardboard insert, but it's getting the job done. So this will be much better than, you know, just folding it up. And then I think it'll also prevent some of the crease lines to come in there. So if you fold it all flat, then you may have crease lines, and rolling it this way just helps to prevent that. I'm gonna have to iron this anyways when I go to make something, but I'd prefer less ironing if possible. All right, you guys, well, this concludes my video. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you give it a like and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you want to shop any of my handmade products, you can go to sewatpeace.store. And I hope you all have a joyful and peaceful day.